Okay, so the next Dokkan Festival exclusive unit on the global version was confirmed to be Tech Bardock, and I know I'm very late on this. Actually, literally like at the end of the day, but I want to get this video out. I've been very busy this weekend, but I should have a video out today, normal schedule. So just keep a lookout for that. Anyways, Tech Bardock, I think that a lot of people are pretty excited for him, funny enough, but he has gone under the radar, right? I mean, he's one of these Dokkan Fest that release at a random month, like, he was the November Dokkan Fest, and then people don't really care about him. He's on a global, and our community doesn't really talk about that, unless it's like, some big LR or same time celebration doesn't really get too much attention. Because of that, I feel like he's been underrated, but looks like Alan Dokkan is not really excited because he wanted the unit. But a lot of people do want this unit here, so it made a lot of sense that he was going to be next. I pretty much predicted he was going to be next. And I think after him will be Dokkan Festival Yamcha as the actual beginning of March Dokkan Fest, my bad. But let's talk about what's going on with him and his celebration. You know what's funny? I actually recorded this video, but I forgot to have it capture the screen. So it doesn't make sense without the screen captured, but we're going to continue on through here. So we have the Dokkan Festival Bardock celebration. Unfortunately, it is actually very bad. We'll just go through and talk about it. We have the Dokkan Festival. Let's talk about the two new units here. So I guess I have the banner up. Never mind, I'm a liar. But we have the Bardock and Tor here, and we see Bardock. I think he's actually a very useful utility unit. So I think people are going to look at this guy and be like, oh, maybe his stats aren't as high as you would like. And I definitely agree. I feel like his stats could have been higher, or he could have done something, especially after these 5 turns elapse. But again, the very, very powerful thing about this guy, for the first 5 turns, he has not only Rainbow Orb changing, which is very helpful, but the Scouter ability foresees enemy super attacks for 5 turns. All you need is a Goku on the team, and his leaders, his Goku's family. He's actually probably the go-to Goku's family lead. Like Goku Gohan, you're not really gonna run as it. This guy's a perfect like floating Goku family leader with pretty solid slot 3 defenses. He has his Rainbow Orb changing, and again that Scouter is so good, and only for 5 turns is not really that bad of a condition right now. And the reason for that is because well, most events that are actually the most difficult in the game don't last for more than 5 turns. Now I'd say Broly could be an issue potentially, but I feel like Goku family has a lot of strong tech units to it. Like you have God Goku, this Bardock will be fine against it. And then against some of these other bosses where Bardock could potentially struggle, let's say Metacooler Core, we have the Cell Max Red Zone, the Cell Max boss events, we have that's pretty much it, right? The harder events in the game, like these new Work of Bloodline events, Red Ribbon Army ones, even the Shadow Dragon event that just came out, right? They are very short-lived, don't really have phases and stuff like that. This Bardock can be utilized very well. Now, what I'd say is that I don't like him after the 5 turns is where I kind of sour on him, because from there he's basically just stats, right? Just literally stats. He loses the orb changing, so it's like he can even potentially struggle to get this extra boost right there, the 50% attack and defense, which is where there can potentially be issues arising, especially if you focus getting your key with the units that are mainly on rotation. But again, this Bardock is ideally meant to be a unit that you have maybe even in slot 7 as well to prolong the Scouter ability, but as a floating support unit helping you build your team around. Like you could potentially wink this guy out. He can get like 600, 700, 800k defenses. You could get him like 13 even meal attack stats with Tor on rotation. We'll talk about Tor right now, but I feel like that's not what you're going to want to do. You'll have much better setups on like this Goku family team. I mean, it's been getting very strong, especially recently. It will always be getting very strong. Like look at the top hitter LRs, even on JP, LR Kai Goku right here, the Z Gohan. We have STR Tech and STR Carnival Goku that this guy just came out in global. Physical LR Ultimate Gohan could be interesting with the orb changing. We have the Tech, I was a Tech God Goku, yeah, he fits too. LR God Goku right there. Even just LRs in general. AGO LR Gohan, his EZA is actually going to be out in 3 days in global. This guy just got an easy as well. There's some really strong units here that you would like to focus on the team around. I mean, like Bardock fills a similar role to this guy, definitely doing worse at what this guy's role is, but the Scouter is just an ability that like even this Bardock Bardock with his scouter ability, I think would outage this Kid Goku, just because of how strong that is. And the kid, we all know how good this Kid Goku is. An obscenely good unit in design, the damage reduction support. I think this Bardock will outage him. So he's like a unit that could potentially be a good investment. Now, the thing I would say is his banner is really bad, right? I feel like this unit was probably going to be the most value besides Bardock, but he's probably going to be on the same day banner. That's going to be literally in a month from now. At the time of this recording is the 18th, about to be this 19th. The 18th next month is going to be same day, and same day always returns the previous same day unit, right? Last year, Majin Vegeta's banner had the into Broly, and I don't think they're going to change it if it's going to be same time, both versions like that. So yeah, the two potentially like, solid units. So Majin Vegeta is pretty good still. Broly's solid, right? It's just going to return on a likely better banner because it'll have like Vegeta and Trunks. We're expecting like God Goku, right? And it's like this unit you're not really gonna use much. These two suck. Tora, I'm not actually a huge fan of because Tora does rely on storied figures category allies, and he's very niche. He wants to be on a Team Bardock, team specifically. On that full Team Bardock team, I think he could actually be solid, but you're not gonna run full Team Bardock. Like, let's be honest, you're not gonna run full Team Bardock, but you could just run all the Goku units. This guy needed more. He needed to be more broad. Like, this should have, like, what if this was just pure Saints? Like, instead of storied figures, make it pure Saints. Like, this guy would be like three times as good, probably. Like, unironically, even if this was the same restriction, him like having 60% support for pure Saiyans essentially with Bardock on the rotation, that would be extremely massive. It would be such a game changer. Actually, they should have done that, but storied figures, like, okay, you could say, okay, this team is not gonna get buffs, right? This team has to get buffs for it to be good, but I would also argue that's like this team is too, like, in itself, like it could maybe be like a good team, but it's just too niche. It really is too niche. It's never gonna be a mainstay team like that. Like, there's teams that have potential, like, say something like Resurrected Warriors that has a nice solid roster, but just needs, more assistance and more releases around that. This team's not it, right? It's not one of those teams that, has a bunch of characters. There really is like 10 characters, like different names here at max. Like, in terms of like, all the Bardocks, we have Fasha, Tora, Shuges, Pycon, Boo. It's not gonna be a thing, and a lot of these characters are characters that aren't really necessarily exciting. Like Bojack, people won't be like, oh yeah, Bojack, right? Whoa, Paragon's father is in Dokkan, yes. It's like, no, that's not gonna be a thing. So yeah, not a fan of Tor. I just went on the long rant about Tor, but no. And that's pretty much it for the celebration, really. It's like the banner. This event is renewal, new, what's it called? Equipment for these guys. And it's like, they're solid, but you're not really gonna, like the Ginyu team, I think that's pretty good for. But this Team Bardock team, you're probably not really gonna run. It's like the Ginyu team is like, the Ginyu team only has these Ginyu options. Bardock's team has all the Goku family rosters. So it's like, these units aren't really gonna be as good. I feel like even just in terms of pure kit, this team is much better. This event just stupid. They didn't reset the missions, so if you already did this event, it's pointless. This event's just returning. This is a mission where they want you to run low class warriors, and it's like, okay, I get 15 stones for just doing low class warriors in here. Sure, you won't get this because it's not in the one of the month. And then the real only content that actually comes out, well, besides Chain Battle, we're not going to count that. Extreme Super Battle Road is a stage that might come out. But this Extreme Z Battle for Bardock. Now, the units could be useful in certain situations, right? I mean, I have the Super Saiyan 3 Bardock pulled up. I think he's quite good. I think he's definitely underrated. He's been getting a lot of help because Power Beyond Super Saiyan has been getting a lot of buffs to it. I mean, just name up a few. LRE Joe Gohan, God Goku's EZA and global version. I mean, these two might EZA very, very soon. This guy might EZA very, very soon. Like, there's so many potential EZAs. This unit just came out as well. AGO Blue Gogeta got his EZA. There's just a lot. Even this guy got his EZA, and maybe in the future we could have a potential build where this Bardock could be on rotation or as a floating unit, and this guy has his full universe survival saga, representing universe 7. I mean, category, team, and this goes really, really crazy, right? I think this Bardock is really good, and that 50% attack support, you guys have to understand how massive that is in this day and age of Dokkan. It's extremely massive, and it'll make such a huge difference to your team. His defense is better than I feel people give credit for, but it's not. This guy's role isn't to really even tank like everything all the time. Now, I will say my only issue with him is that at times, if you're unlucky especially, he could potentially not tank normals, and I'm not a fan of that for sure. But this guy, in a lot of situations, he can actually take normals, and I feel like most of the game, if you're on a Power Beyond Super Saiyan team, he will be able to take normals, especially with the triple super. But it's those certain situations where maybe his defense is lowered, or he's like against type disadvantage, right? And you just can't really control that for a 2017 EZA unit, right? But I think they did a good job with him overall. I just want to bring up this guy before we end. He's a fraud. He's overrated, I feel. Like I see why people like him. He's a support unit that guards. But this first attack, I feel like it's just too much for me. Like, say you get some medical core, he has to take a 200k normal just to guard and support, and it's like, sure, you could argue, okay, other units or support units wouldn't really take that, but it's like, why don't you just run a designated tank unit instead, like physical Kid Goku or something like that, right? They could actually potentially even tank these hits a lot better and even provide more to the team. But that's just my idea. I mean, for sub EZ, I think he's actually pretty good. He's better than most of the sub EZs. I'd give him credit for that. If you do get a double super, I think he could actually be pretty safe there. He's physical, so you can't go full additional. Like, there is merits to this Bardock. I'm not saying he's bad, but I think he's a little overrated in the community. That's it. The Tech and STR Bardocks, they're honestly kind of just write-offs. They're nothing really too special. I didn't even bring them up because it's like Tech Bardock's like an orb changer. The STR one's like a support, and he wants to be ran with specifically Super Saiyan 2 and 3 units. It's just weird. I don't know what they're kind of going with the STR Bardock, unfortunately, but yeah, I feel like this is just really, you guys are gonna have to strap in and be bored while JP goes through part 3 and part EX potentially for the anniversary, because this is actually awful. Maybe they add something here. Well, I mean, I guess one good thing is global. Like, global, didn't you guys literally just get the Carnival Goku? Am I crazy? Actually, is Bardock going to be at the end of the month specifically? I guess he will. Oh, Well, okay, Bardock's going to be at the end of the month. I was going to say they added that Gohan and actually Bardock is at the end of the month. Oh, so Yamcha should be in April. My bad. I'm not completely on the global thing. I've been really busy. I'm tired, low-key. I'm just going to upload this right away. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.